Good evening, everybody. Here's Storm here to bring you another gaming news roundup. This week we're covering from January 6th to the 8th. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. Our first set of news that happened during this week is Hitman 3 is being rebranded as Hitman World of Assassination on January 26th. World of Assassination will include Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 content through existing past system. I don't know what this could possibly mean for the future. I guess Hitman 3 will just have all the content of Hitman 1 and 2 in it without having it be called Hitman 3, I guess. Don't really care that much for Hitman game in general. Alright. Our next set of news is details for The Last of Us multiplayer game will come later this year, plus some fun surprises. The Last of Us franchise has sold more than 37 million copies as of December 2022. And here we have a screenshot of a concept art for The Last of Us multiplayer. As you can see from this picture, the map layout could potentially be a good way for like long distance firing, good sniping positions and stuff. By them saying that news for The Last of Us multiplayer coming later this year, it's more likely it's not coming out this year. It's most likely coming out next year, but I could be entirely wrong. Because Naughty Dog been working on this multiplayer for a while since it was removed from Last of Us Part 2. So time will tell when it will finally be released. And we actually have some quotes from from Naughty Dog talking about the Last of Us franchise. And here they are right here. And here's the quote from Neil Druckmann saying, "We are so proud to share that the entire The Last of Us franchise has sold through more than 37 million copies globally as of December 2022 and is continuing to reach new and old players every day. To know that Joel, Ellie, and our cast of characters have been experienced and loved by so many of you drives the entire studio forward." And they have another... he made another quote of talking about The Last of Us multiplayer, which I will put up right here. He said, "We are looking ahead to The Last of Us 10th anniversary in June, and we're excited to share more with you about the future of this franchise. We have some fun surprises for you along the way, but later this year we'll begin to offer you some details on our ambitious The Last of Us multiplayer game with a team led by Vinny Agrawal and Joe Pettinati and Anthony Newman. The project is shaping up to be a fresh new experience from our studio, but one rooted in Naughty Dog passion for delivering credible stories, characters, and gameplay. We first shared concept art of the project with you last year, and we hope this new piece of concept art below further excites you for what our team is working on." Alright. And that was from Neil Druckmann. I think it's a safe bet that we'll probably gonna get new information during their 10th anniversary for the Last of Us franchise. I think this point, like, Naughty Dog they've been quiet on what they're working on. Yes, we know about the Last of Us multiplayer and their so-called mystery new project. So we probably will have a PlayStation showcase. Hopefully they will reveal what their next project they're working on and stuff. So time will tell when Naughty Dog is comfortable, ready, talking about what they're going to be working on. So Time will tell when we'll finally get that info. But staying on the topic of Last of Us, um, Neil Druckmann also have stated that uh, there could be plans for a third entry for the Last of Us series. And his quote says, "I think there's more story to tell." So it's not guaranteed there's gonna be a Last of Us Part 3. But if he uh think there could be more stories to tell in the Last of Us series, there could be possibly a third game in the future. Time will tell when that will happen. Uh, uh, Another thing that's happened at Naughty Dog is new Naughty Dog PS5 games will be announced closer to release, according to Neil Druckmann. With that being said, it would the reason why Neil Druckmann have decided on to that when it comes to their future game is basically Naughty Dog is taking their time announcing games to take pressure off the studio and to be more flexible with scheduling. So that basically saying they will announce their game once they know for sure they can come out it could come out at this certain time, which is not new for the industry because, well, it's not really new for the industry, but I do want more developers to do that. Like, don't reveal a date for your game unless you're 100% sure you're gonna make that date, because if you don't make that date and that game get canceled, you just gonna have a whole lot of people just mad as hell. So I could see them trying to relieve off that kind of stress of them saying they're gonna release something and that doesn't happen. People say they prefer a late game, a delayed game than a broken game and stuff. But in this day and age, when it comes to gaming, we've seen games get delayed and they still end up being broken. So we need to adapt a new type of statement when it comes to delayed games, because that's not gonna fly anymore. Using that as a statement. All right, all right. Let's continue on before I continue rambling. This past week, Sony had their CES conference. What CES is basically just like, it's not really much like a gaming per se. It's not a gaming type of event. It's more of like a tech expo, like revealing all the newest TVs, computers, cell phones, and all that jazz that's gonna be coming this year or in the future. Like for example, uh, LG talk about their new TVs, the C3, and they talk about the C3 TVs, and I think it was like the G2 or G3, one of those things. Samsung talk about their new cell phone that they have coming, and of course Sony was at the CES also. And you don't remember from the CES, it was, I believe it was early 2020. PlayStation was at the CES and they revealed the logo for the PS5, which had a lot of people scratching their heads when they did that. So at this CES, Sony revealed uh, a bunch of stuff for their PS5 and the PlayStation VR 2. Like, no like new game announcements and stuff. Technically there was a game announcement, more like an update. But either way, uh, the first thing, one of the first things that Sony revealed was the PS5 have actually reached have sold 30 million as of December. And Jim Ryan have came out and said the PS5 has sold more than 30 million units worldwide, and he also made a statement that the chip shortages that the PS5 was facing, making it hard to develop and have it more be out in the wild. He said that's officially finished. So if you ever want a PS5, uh, in the coming months of this year, you will be able to find PS5s on shelves at retail stores. So that's good. That's good for people that have been wanting a PS5 since it got released, but unfortunately unable to get it either from being sold out or the chip shortages made it very difficult, or scalpers taking up all the inventory that's there. So, and I have seen, um, well, I haven't been in stores to see PlayStation 5s on shelves per se, but I have seen like for example, GameStop having them in stock. So far, they have them in stock for 2 weeks now. So that's good. I believe if you could go, I believe you go on Amazon, you could find some. And every single time when I see the PlayStation website will have some in stock also. So good to see that now the console is at a stable that be able to be available to everyone that's been looking for one. So good times for gaming. Another thing that they revealed at the CES is a new peripheral for PlayStation 4 to help disabled gamers, and they call it Project Leonardo. And you can see from Project Leonardo, they have said it's a highly customizable accessibility controller kit designed to help players with disabilities play more easily, more comfortable, and for longer periods. I say this is a very good thing, and more people who unable to play games and now be able to play games that they always wanted to play. Especially, we seen from a couple of PlayStation studios have been fully trying to evolve the accessibility options for disabled gamers to be able to play their game to play the games that the studios make to their liking and stuff. So Microsoft did this also with their accessibility controller like a couple of years ago. So it's nice to see that PlayStation is doing it also, and this could bring in some more gamers. So everybody wins in the end. This a little side note from gaming. PlayStation has shown off their. Basically, Sony have teamed up with another company into making a car that you'll be able to play your games in it. I believe they teamed up with Afila, or that's the name of the car. I can't really find it here, but here are the pictures of the car. And I'll be the first one to say, I know I'm not a car aficionado and stuff, but I have to say, I would gladly want this car. It actually the look of the car does look really good and stuff, and the fact that you can play your games in the car and stuff, like, imagine like you're driving, you're having those long road trips and stuff, bruh. That'd be low-key kind of fire. and it looks like to be like an electric car. So, but yeah, by the looks of the name of the car is a Fila, or the brand is going to be called Fila. To my knowledge, there's no release or price for the car, but I have to say I will want this car. Me personally, I would definitely will want this car. All right, our next bit of news. To take a break from what was shown from the CES, we just gonna go off a little bit off topic, then we're gonna go right back into what else was revealed at the CES. Apparently, through data miners, they did find that this how Discord will work on the PlayStation system. By the image, it shows that PS4 users will only be able to display the game that they're playing on Discord, but PS5 users will be able to join voice chat on the PS5 with Discord and also display the game that you're playing. I heard people say like the image that's going around about PlayStation and Discord, they said it was fake, like it was a Photoshop of the Xbox version of it. But we do know that Discord is coming to PlayStation. They said it was going to be early this year. We just don't know yet. I heard some people say it was going to go live in March, I believe. So time will tell when it becomes available. Me personally, I don't know if I'll be using it all that much, honestly. And since I rarely use the party chat, but but it also could be a cool thing to have like a set of friends that you play. Like for example, I am in this Discord for Destiny, so I guess it would make it easier for everybody to party up, especially you just join, you could talk in the party chat through the Discord and stuff, instead of just constantly just putting messages together. So, and there's that possibility. Alright, now we got that out of the way, we're gonna go with that little quick little thing about Discord. We're going to go back what else that was shown at the CES. Another thing that was revealed at the CES is some PlayStation VR 2 news. It said 30 plus games is on track for the launch window for PlayStation VR 2. As you know, the PlayStation VR 2 is releasing in late February, I believe. It's either February 15 or late February. I can't remember the exact date of the release of the VR2, but the fact that they're going to have 30 plus games on track for the launch window, that's pretty amazing that they already got that much games already getting together for the VR2. Another thing that they said, Gran Turismo 7 will get a free update that will let you play some Gran Turismo 7 on the PlayStation VR 2, which is extremely amazing. So it's a free update for anybody that owns Gran Turismo, and I think like people who die hard play Gran Turismo gonna be all up on that, especially the ones who buy the steering wheel, the paddles, everything, to get that fully immersive experience playing a racing sim game. So I think the VR2 would do it, especially with the haptic feedbacks and the controller, like you can actually feel the tension and stuff. I think that's gonna be cool. Another thing is Beat Saber is in development for the PlayStation VR 2. So that's another game that was on the VR is coming to the VR 2. Me personally, I'm hoping Iron Man VR do come to the PlayStation VR 2 because that game for the VR is truly amazing. Especially it's a game that's not on the rails. Like you could literally fly like Iron Man and stuff. And I think the VR 2 will be a perfect game for it. So me personally, I'm hoping it does come to the VR 2. And you actually go on the PlayStation Store, you can pre-order the VR 2. But another cool thing from the CES, people who was actually there at the CES did got to demo a Horizon Call of the Mountain on the PlayStation VR 2. And for what I'm hearing from the reviews, they are extremely positive and stuff. I did saw like a little bit of videos of people playing Call of the Mountain, and it is very responsive to the controls and stuff. It was like I couldn't really tell what frame it was running, but it was definitely running. By the looks of it, it was definitely running higher than 30, which I do believe they said like the VR 2 could do 60 or 120 hertz. I believe. Can't remember. Can't remember. It's one of those two, but I think it's just based off the game that you're playing. And another thing that was said, Jim Ryan said at Sony CES, basically, 20. They basically said 2023 is gonna be big for the PlayStation 5, and they said they do have really big indie games and truly big hit blockbusters. Uh, it was said that Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. They said these are some of the biggest blockbusters that are coming this year for the PlayStation 5. So basically, by the looks of Sony is really pushing the marketing for the 2023 games. Like granted, we don't know what other first party game that they having this year besides Marvel Spider-Man 2. So most likely this year will be a second and third party deals that Sony put together and stuff. And I say that's like, of course we would like to see what their first party is making and stuff. But like they got games coming out, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens for the rest of the year. Like the January just started, so we're still a long way away to see what kind of games are coming. But so far, the release dates for certain games that me personally that I'm looking forward to, I'm excited to finally get my hands on them. And the last bit of news that I have is Bungie says it is working on a number of unannounced projects with Sony, which is very cool that Bungie do have some other projects in the works because they've been working on Destiny for how many years now? Since Destiny 1 release, they've been on. The only IP they ever been working on was Destiny, and that was right after when they left Halo. But we do there it was said like this was like a while ago that one of the projects that Bungie is working on is a third person action game. Excuse me. We don't know what game could that be. Honestly, it could be anything. To be honest, but I'm looking forward to see what new project that Bungie that is gonna work on, especially especially now that they're bought by Sony. So I'm curious the funding that Sony will provide for Bungie to get their projects out there. I expect a couple of third party, probably a couple of third person, first person games. Sony did say Bungie will also basically like assist some of their other studios on how to do a proper game as a service. So I could see a couple of those projects being games as a service also. So that's another possibility. But yeah, I am looking forward to these so-called projects that Sony is working on, especially from their first party. Since we didn't get like a big showcase from PlayStation that would probably show off some of their first party handiwork, but that could definitely still come around sometime this year. It just it just depends whenever they're ready. So yeah, so far we get so far the games that we have coming is Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Stellar Blade. Of course, Hogwarts Legacy is a multiplayer, but it does have like a exclusive mission that only PlayStation getting. Like, I think what it is, Sony saw like a bunch of their first party studios are not ready to show their newest work and stuff. So like Santa Monica Studio, they're most likely going to take a break because they just dropped God of War Ragnarok. They dropped God of War Ragnarok like 2 months ago. Naughty Dog needs to. Honestly, the studios that need to show something, mostly Naughty Dog and Sony, been putting in that work, especially they released Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, Miles Morales, Spider-Man Remastered, and now they're getting Marvel Spider-Man 2 for fall. So, if they ever do a showcase for the PlayStation first parties, I expect to see what Haven Studio is doing. Probably whatever. It was rumored that Cory Barlog is working on a sci-fi game, so that could be a possibility. And there was a leak. I did forgot to mention this. There was a leak 5-second video of supposedly a Sony game. Is a collaboration between Sony XDev Studio and some other unknown studio. It's a third-person shooter sci-fi game and is running on Unreal Engine 5. And people described it, it gives off a Mass Effect feel. So that's another game that's in the works. For the showcase, we'll probably get maybe a new showing for Marvel Spider-Man 2, probably Wolverine also. There's a lot of studios that I would like for them to show off what they're working on next. But I'm a patient person. I got a lot of games to get through, so time will tell whenever they're ready to show off their work. Alright, well, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this news roundup, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good night, and peace out.